This is a video that's going to help you adding fractions and adding mixed numbers. It's important to remember that when I add fractions or mixed numbers, I need a common denominator. So if I look at the first number 1 in this example set, I have 3 1/3 and 6 5/8. I don't have a common denominator right now. My one denominator is 3, while my other is 8. So what I need to do is write equivalent fractions so I have a common denominator. I do that by finding the smallest common multiple of 3 and 8. Well, my smallest common multiple of both of those, our least common multiple of both of those is 24. So now I have to figure out what I multiplied 3 by to make 24, and it's 8. So I take 1 times that same 8, and I get 8. Then I have to figure out what I multiplied 8 by to make 24, and it's 3. So I'll take 5 times 3, and I get 15. Now, when I add these mixed numbers, I add the whole numbers. 3 and 6 is 9, and then add the fractions. 8 and 15 is 23 over 24. And that's in smallest form, so the answer for that one is 9 over 23. The next problem, I just have fractions. They're not mixed numbers. Actually, 2 and 3 are both just fractions. They're not mixed numbers. So what I need to do is find the common denominator of 9 and 5 for number 2. Well, the smallest common denominator for 9 and 5 is going to be 45. So this is going to be written as something over 45. I had to multiply 5 by 9 to make 45. So 5 times 9 is 45. 3 times 9 is 27. And then I have to do the same thing with 9. What do I have to multiply 9 by to make 45? Well, it's 5. So then I take 7 times 5 and get 35. Once I get the common denominator, it's important to remember that I don't add those denominators and get 90. That stays the same. It's going to stay at 45. But what I do is I add the numerators. 27 and 35 is going to be 62. But now I have an improper fraction, so I have to change that improper fraction to a mixed number. When I do that, I ask myself, how many times does 45 go into 62? Well, there's just one 45 in 62, and that gets me up to 45. And then I need 17 more to get to 62. So I have 17 remaining 45ths. So that's going to be 1 and 17 45ths. Number 3, my two denominators are 10 and 15. I've got to get a common denominator. So my multiples of 10 are 10, 20, 30, 40. My multiples of 15 are 15, 30. So my smallest common multiple of both of them is going to be 30. I multiplied 15 by 2 to get to 30. So I'll take 8 times 2 to get to 16. And then I multiplied 10 times 3 to get to 30. So I'll take 7 times 3 to get to 21. Now that I have a common denominator, I can add the two numerators. 21 and 16 is 37. So this is going to become 37 over 30. So it's an improper fraction. I have to change it to a mixed number. There's 130 in 37, and then there's 7 more remaining. So it's 1 and 7 30ths. Okay, got 3 more to do. What you can do is you can stop the recording and try and do number 4, and then turn it back on and see how you did. And do the same thing for 5 and 6 also, now that you kind of have the hang of it. So go ahead and stop it and try and do number 4, and then I'll come back on and explain it. Okay, so hopefully you got this one right. Let's see how we did. Now on number 4, I already have a common denominator. So in this case, all I have to do is add the whole numbers, 13 and 21, and 13 and 21 is 34, and then add the fractions. 4 and 3 is 7, so it's 34 and 7/5. But the problem is I have a mixed number, but my fraction is improper. So what I have to do is I have to ask what 7/5 really is. And 7/5 is really 1 with 2/5 remaining. So it's 1 and 2/5. So if I have 1 and 2/5 plus the 34, I have 35 and 2/5. So that's my answer for that one. Okay, go ahead and stop the recording and see if you can do 5. Okay, let's see how we did with number 5. Number 5, I don't have a common denominator, so it's a little bit different than 4, but it's the same sort of idea. So I need a common denominator. My multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, and my multiples of 9 are 9 and 18. So my smallest common denominator is going to be 9. So I'll change this to something over 9, and I had to multiply 3 by 3 to make 9. So I'll take 1 times 3 to get 3. 7/9, that's just going to stay the same. I don't have to change that at all. 7/9 is just going to stay the same. And now I have a new fraction. So I add the whole numbers. 6 and 5 is 11. And then I add the fractions. 7/9 and 3/9 is 10/9. And just like the problem before, I have an improper fraction inside my mixed number. So what I need to do is think of this, well, 9/10. 9/10, let me erase that. I wrote that backwards. 10/9 is really 1 and 1/9. So if that's 1 1/9, and I have to add 11 to it, I'm going to have 12 and 1/9. So the answer to that one is 12 and 1/9. Okay, now you can stop the recording again and try and do 6. So when you try and do 6, then we'll turn it back on and see how you did. Okay, let's see how you did with this one. So what you need to do is get a common denominator. Well, my multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. My multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. My smallest multiple of both is going to be 15. So I'm going to write this is something over 15, and that is something over 15. Well, I multiplied 3 by 5 to make 15, so that's going to be 5/15. I multiplied 5 by 3 to make 15, so that's going to be 6/15. So now I have to add the whole numbers and add the fractions. 12 plus 11 is 23. 6/15 and 5/15 is going to be 11/15. Now this one, I don't have the improper fraction in the mixed number, so I'm all done with that one. And that is how you add fractions. Hopefully that helped you so you can do well on your test.